You guys have always been great on defense. What kind of keys that? Are y'all just really cohesive, or experience, or what?
No, everybody just does their role and does it really well, and we don't really try to go outside of our role because everybody knows their individual role and how to help the defense. Because once you play outside of your role, that's when you hurt the defense.
Okay. Thank you.
You talk about mobile quarterbacks. Is there anything specific to Baylor's quarterback, Charlie Brewer, that you feel like he does particularly well?
He throws the ball well and he just runs. I mean, like if he doesn't see anything open, he's going to get out. And if you try to rush him and try to get the sack, and he sees that, like, he's going to get out on you. And you just got to be aware of that. Make sure you keep him in the trap so it's like he doesn't get out and escape.
Is there any similarity to the quarterback we faced last year in the Sugar Bowl, Sam Ellinger?
I feel like they're the same type guys. I mean, I feel like people underestimate them. Like, they have an arm on them as well as legs. So I feel like, they're about the same type of quarterback. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Michael, this is it, right?
This is it. Farewell to it, like Michael Jackson.
Well, I mean, looking back
right.
on your career, because I mean, just in interviews, I've seen you've grown a lot and matured. But like, what moment sticks out to you? Whether that's a play or something where you really felt part of the program, or I mean, what moments that you remember?
I feel like just just growing with the team. I just seen everything change. I mean, I was here ever since Mark Richt, just seeing the whole coaching change and like how people are just loving one another, and it's like a brotherhood. It's a bond, and everybody wants to see everybody grow. And just I feel like the Georgia as a whole is taking that next step of being one of the top caliber teams, and I feel like I was a part of that, and it was just like, a growing experience. And I mean, there's no particular moment where I was like, wow, but it's just like, as you get older, you get wiser. So I feel like, just looking back, it's just like I see it going in the right direction. You got a lot of young guys that's really willing to chip in and really help and, try to get better to help the team. And it's just like about everybody buying in.
What do you think of Monty? What do you think? What comes to mind?
Monty?
Yeah, either as a player, person, teammate, whatever.
Monty's a funny guy. I mean, I don't know. He's basically a blunt guy. I can tell you that. Like, he's gonna tell you how it is. He's not gonna sugarcoat nothing about it. Like, how he is on the field is how he is off the field. It's literally, you can ask Monty anything, he's gonna tell you his opinions, whether you like it or not. Like, that's just Monty. You just gotta love Monty for that, because he's gonna be real about everything he says. But Monty's a funny guy.
Does that take some getting used to in a way? Just because you gotta realize, if there's something you don't necessarily want to hear, it's coming from maybe a good place.
I mean, at the same time, you just gotta know that's Monty. So if anybody that's around Monty and they're like, what? No, you just gotta realize that's just him. You just gotta get used to it. He's a funny guy. I mean, look at him.
Sure. and like looking at this game coming up, I mean, with all the opportunities, guys have to have bigger roles that maybe they wouldn't have had, at the beginning of the season. Is there one guy you're kind of most excited to see get a chance to really shine on the big stage?
I mean, there's not one particular guy, because I feel like they did it all year. I've been seeing it all year. It's just about getting their opportunity to shine, and like all those young guys really play hard, practice hard, and willing to learn. Like Aziz last year in this game, nobody knew who he was, and he came in the game and just balled out, him and Devon. So it's like, I'm just ready for all those guys to get on the field and just really show their talent. Because I feel like everybody that's young and came in or didn't play as much is really good. It's just like you had those experienced guys that played a lot ahead of them in earlier games. So I feel like they're going to be straight. I have full confidence in everybody that's going to play a significant role in this game. You're welcome.
Michael, you kind of mentioned it, but after kind of helping bring Georgia back to sort of national prominence, I mean, is it harder than it was before to kind of get up for this kind of game, like a Sugar Bowl where you're not playing in the playoffs necessarily?
It's not really harder, but I feel like all our coaches and Coach Scott especially, pressure is a privilege. So the fact that all the pressure is on Georgia to be great or do better, it's just like you just got to work hard in the off season, whether it's in practice and workouts and training. You just got to go harder. Like, when you think you're going hard, go harder. And I mean, pressure, like I said it before, I'm gonna say it again, but pressure is a privilege. So you just got to keep doing things harder, because in the game it'll be much easier. So I feel like we did a good job of carrying that load and going into the season and just having that mindset of like keep going. Pressure is a privilege.
Yeah. What does Georgia have to gain from this game, do you think?
I feel like it gains everything. I mean, you know, everybody is doubting us and saying that, you know, we're not really wanting to win this game, you know, this and that, all the negative things that they can say. So I feel like this game is everything. Any game that Georgia plays is everything, I feel like.
How much do the guys who are here want this game?
Everybody here that's on this, like everybody here in New Orleans right now wants to win this game. Coaches included, even support staff, even the nutritionists. Like everybody is all on board of winning this game. That's how important it is to us.
Have you been in contact with some of the guys who aren't playing? I mean, what are sort of the feelings towards that?
I mean, it's no bad feelings. I mean, you know, that's on them. But at the same time, I'm focused on the guys that are here and talking with those guys and just, you know, communicating them, like, you know, how important this game is and just going out there and balling out at practice every day. And no problem.
Can you tell, is there actually maybe a change in attitude that you can tell in the team than say exactly a year ago, right before you put, I mean, not necessarily for you, but just the team in general?
I mean, I feel like last year, I mean, you know, we had guys that, you know, said some certain things that we should, you know, been in the playoff or did this or did that, you know, tweeted some things. But I feel like right now we realize, like, you know, we have to focus on the team, like focus on what's going on now, focus on our opponent now, not focus on the past. So I feel like everybody now is doing a good job of really focusing on Baylor, like what we have to do to out-execute Baylor. So us focusing on that, I feel like we're doing a good job, and I feel like it's going to be a good game, and I feel like we want to come out with a dub. So I feel like everybody's going to go out there and play hard.
We heard Coach Smart the other day talk about this being like a one-game season.
Right.
Has that been a message?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a one-game season. Like it's like a whole new team. It's like starting off the whole new year. Like for the senior class and all the older guys, this is ending their chapter of Georgia. But for the younger guys that are coming back and retaining for the following year, it's starting their next season. So I feel like this is the first game of the new year. So how are you going to go out? You got to go out with a bang.
Has that been a different message than a year ago? Like you talked about last year, there were some guys who felt like, oh, we should be in the playoff type thing. Do you think the coaches kind of emphasized something different this year?
Yeah, that's exactly what he emphasized. You know, just really focus on this game because, like I just said, it's ending the older guys' class, and this is, you know, ending the older guys' tenure, but it's starting like the new guys like that have played a role. This is starting them. This is like starting them fresh. So I feel like just focusing on this game, we'll be fine.
Michael, how has the team reacted to, you know, guys that aren't here, not necessarily for the guys that went to the NFL decisions or guys that are injured, but maybe guys that, you know, were told they couldn't come for one reason or another? How tough is that? Is there any like anger that you guys didn't do the right thing and hurt the team? Or
not really, because we're just focusing on the guys that are here. The guys that are here, you know, well prepared. I feel like they've been ready all season for this moment. So I feel like those guys are, you know, ready to go out there and execute at a high clip.
What about some of the young guys at your position, redshirt this year? Any of them do you think going to be able to help out? I guess they could play some of them maybe on Wednesday, but for next season when guys like you and Tyler are gone,
right.
What are you looking for from guys? You know, Bill, those guys.
I feel like all those young guys are doing a good job. You know, they've been playing scout team all week, but I mean all year. But at the same time, it's like they've been doing a good job of, you know, developing, learning from us, and like, you know, different techniques and whatnot. And I feel like next year they're going to be ready to compete with whatever, and, you know, continue the tradition of, you know, stopping the run and, you know, rushing the pass. So I feel like they're going to do a good job with that.
You remember one of them flashing, like Zion, Tymon, or Bill in particular? Can you tell me something about them individually, what they do well?
I feel like Bill is a really good player. You know, he's a big guy that can stop the run. Tymon's a very versatile player. He can also, you know, stop the run, you know, do the passer. Zion, Tymon, who else?
Bill, Tymon, Zion.
Yeah, I'm about to say all those guys are like doing a good job. I think I said two names at once. I'm tripping, but all of them, you know, do a good job.
I think you mentioned Zion, maybe. I don't know.
But they do a good job of, you know, developing. I feel like they have progressed from when they first got here from high school, and I feel like they're going to do a good job next year. I have full confidence in those guys, little bros.
Last year, this game was kind of a coming out party for Aziz.
Right.
Who's maybe a young guy that doesn't get much PT, but we could see in the Sugar Bowl kind of take that step and build towards 2020?
I feel like they're all doing pretty good because, I mean, they all go out there and execute. I feel Lewisine, I feel like Lewisine is gonna, play a huge role in this game. OT, he's gonna do a good job as well. But I don't know, all those young guys, I feel like are gonna do great. Like they're gonna flourish because we've been seeing it all year. They just, didn't get the limelight because they haven't been playing because the older guys that were playing ahead of them. So I feel like everybody's gonna go out there and execute at a high clip.
One in particular you can name on defense that you've noticed getting more reps and you feel like he's going to be in stepping in?
I think Lewisine is going to be a guy to step up. I mean, he's been a ball player ever since he got here. I've been seeing ever since he's got here. I feel like those guys are going to do a good job.
Every team has its own internal level of expectations, but It seems like at Georgia that expectation is built to almost, I don't want to say unreasonable levels, but anything less than being in the hunt for the national championship isn't acceptable anymore. How tough is that, to accomplish? And do you feel like, no matter what happens, do you feel like this season's been a success?
This season, it's been a success because we, reached some things that has never been done. But at the same time, it's like pressure is a privilege, and our coaches do a good job of telling us that. And it's like
pressure's a privilege.
Yeah, having pressure on you is a privilege because it's like if you don't have pressure on you, then you're not winning anything. You're not competing for the national title, going to the SEC championship back-to-back years. So the fact that we have that pressure on us to really go out there and out-execute and out-compete and out-physical our opponents, then I feel like
Coach,
we're going to do a good job.
And Coach Rick once told me, when you're at Georgia, you got rivalry games you got to win on all sides. You got to, if you go to Columbus, you got to when you're going to beat Auburn. If you go to Rome, you're going to beat Tennessee. You go to Atlanta, you're going to beat Tech. And now you got Clemson. You don't play them, but they're knocking on your door. And who else? Who am I leaving out? Florida, Georgia Tech. Yeah, you get my drift. And Auburn every year. Just tell me about that. Like you said, how much? Boy, it seems like every week is a big game when you're at Georgia.
I mean, in the SEC and whoever we play, like I said, any given Saturday, you are bound to lose or win if you don't go out there and execute at a high clip. If you think that you're going to just go out there and walk over somebody, then that's when you get complacent. So you just have to, accept that the fact of pressure's a privilege.
Michael, you're leaving here right now. This team's ranked number 5. You guys are 11-2. You beat all these rivals that Ted was just talking about a second ago. And some people are saying it's a disappointment.
Right.
From where you came in to where it is now, what does that say that 11-2 and number 5 is no longer seemingly good enough for fans?
All I gotta say is the Taxslayer Bowl, the Memphis Liberty Bowl, is different from the Sugar Bowl. So I feel like you can't really please everybody. At the end of the day, we know what we've accomplished and we know how good it is and how hard it is to be an 11-2 team, being the top team in the country out of all these different teams in the country that are actually really good. So it's like, you can't really please everybody. But we know what we've done and we just got to go out there and execute at a high clip and play Baylor, focus on Baylor. Because if you listen to the naysayers and all that rah-rah stuff on the outside, then that's when you get all this different stuff in your head and, you just, doubting yourself because you think you're not good enough. We got to focus on us and be where our feet are.